The MegaMets Podcast is back, folks. Tonight it's AEW Dynasty 2025 from the Lycora Center on the campus of Temple University.
This will be a quite fun one, to say the least.
And
been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, and for those wondering what's in this bowl, I kind of made this yesterday. It's nasi goreng.
I need to try that sometime.
It's basically Indonesian fried rice.
That's pretty nice.
From the
These will sound pretty better considering what I've went through.
It's from the cookbook.
I know. You really have been busy, haven't you?
Yeah, what happened to you recently?
Well, for starters, I got a new laptop. I got a new HP Omen.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it took a year because I had to save up money. I had a bit of help, and boom, I got it. You could say it's a kind of a birthday present for myself since I'm turning 40.
Again, happy early.
Thank you. Anyway, how we're going to do this is going to be a little harder because there are, according to mine, there are 11 matches on the card. Yeah, because yours has 10. I'm doing according to Wikipedia. You might need a refresh.
Maybe it's on the. Hold on.
I'm checked on Wikipedia.
I've only got 11 on mine.
Yeah, there you go. Wait, what the?
I've only got 10 on mine.
Mine's on 11, and 4 of them involve the qualifier matches for the men and women's Owen Hart Cup.
What's the other one? Athena against who?
Okay, let me look. Let me see yours compared to mine. We lost Mercedes. Hangman Adam Page versus the Wild Card. So here's how we're going to do this for this event, for this little podcast. Because there are 11 matches, we're going to start from the bottom all the way to the top. And we already know the top is the main event. So I will go first. I'll go first. So for our first match, for the men's Owen Hart Cup Tournament quarterfinal match, Hangman Adam Page faces off against, to be a wild card.
I've got it.
Okay.
It's TJP. He was recently announced he's going freelance.
That explains a whole lot. I had no idea he was going to do freelance.
I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with at this point.
Yeah, and that's the only option that we got. So we have Hangman Adam Page versus TJP. Who do you think will win this one?
I'm going to give it to the Hangman.
I'm probably also going to give it to the Hangman. TJP stands no chance. Now it's your turn.
Next up, Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe in another one of the 3 men's Owen Hart tournament qualifier in quarterfinals.
This will be an interesting match.
I mean, can Chicken overcome the Pro Star? I'm not sure, especially when you consider they've been trying to rebuild Fletcher after what happened at Revolution.
Yikes. That's got to freaking hurt. My vote is going to probably be on Mark Briscoe.
I'll go Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, time for a little change of pace, I see. Back to me. For the women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament quarterfinal match, Mercedes Mone versus Julia Hart.
I think I figured out what direction the tournament's going in. They're setting up the CEO against the Fallen Goddess in the final.
Oh, that would actually be an interesting match.
Which is why I'm taking the CEO to win. Again.
I'm surprised. Are you a bit disappointed?
I mean, think about it. It's the 2 most dominant women in AEW. And 2 women that Tony Khan is too chicken shit to take belts off of.
All that does is make me mad. I'm putting my money on Mercedes.
Held the TBS title for roughly a year, and Athena with the Ring of Honor women's title, mostly because Tony Khan's too much of a dumbass and how to book that thing properly. She's held it for over 2.
Just wow. Just bloody wow. So I'm putting my money on Mercedes because I'll be honest, it's going to be something to say the least at the finals.
I got Julia.
Go. Fair enough. Let us continue.
I got Mercedes too. Never mind. My bad.
Of course.
Will Ospreay against Kevin Knight in the 3rd and final men's quarterfinal.
They're just trying to set things up for the semifinal and then the final match.
Then we don't have the bracket, or do we?
Mm-hmm.
We
don't even have the bracket for that.
Let me check. We got. Yes, we
Go
do.
ahead. Oh, excellent.
Brody, winner of this faces either Brody King or Kenosuke to cash that.
And probably the semifinals will probably either be on...
Which will probably be happening on Dynamite on April 9th.
Yeah, which is in approximately 2 days. And once the semifinal matches are concluded, then the final will take place on Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the women's side, Athena's got Harley Cameron. The winner, Jamie Hayter versus Bill. Oh, okay. I did not see this. Apparently, Mone and Athena are in the same side of the bracket on the women's side of things.
Yeah, but did they have their matches already, though?
No, they have not.
My guess they're going to probably have their matches on on either Dynamite or Collision.
I'm more in line with splitting them. If the only women's match is going to be Mone versus Hart. But then again,
that would make a whole lot of sense.
But then again, I expect another bloated card, compliments of.
I take you're not taking this well.
You know the bastard's a card bloater, mostly with the pre-show.
Of course, I'm not that surprised, all things considered.
In any case, I'm going to go with Ospreay.
You made the right decision on that one. I'm also going to go Will Ospreay. Now, my turn. Now we get to the meat and potatoes, the good stuff. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. On one side, you have the champions, the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, with MVP Montel Vontavious Porter in their corner against the challengers, the Learning Tree, Big Bill, and Bryan Keith.
Does the Learning Tree need any more gold? I don't want them to have it.
I say they don't, which is why my vote will be on the Hurt Syndicate. It is good that the Hurt Syndicate has reunited.
Well, he still needs Cedric Alexander to get out of his WWE contract. And then
once he does, he's going to probably be joining them.
True.
Yep. So your vote's on the Hurt Syndicate, huh?
Yep.
Let's hope they retain. Now it's your turn. This one will be a fun one.
For the TNT title, Daniel Garcia defends against Adam Cole, baby.
And it gets a little more interesting because this one has no time limit and no outside interference.
What if some tell me one of them's going to break the ladder rule while taking advantage of the former?
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that because I don't even watch it.
As far as giving Cole a title, pull the trigger, damn it. I'm giving this one to Adam Cole, baby.
That's fine. I'm probably going to also pull the trigger.
Now is one that I think you're going to find infuriating and I find too damn fishy to be a coincidence.
Yeah, I'm already infuriated enough as is for the ROH Ring of Honor World Title, a title versus mask match. Chris Jericho, the champion, versus Bandido.
Anyone with half a brain knows the significance of the mask in lucha culture. If Bandido loses, that thing is coming off. Is it just me, or do I feel like we've gone to a time loop to Super Brawl 8, Jericho versus Juventud for the Cruiser title, where it was the same stipulation?
Yeah, that's my thought too.
Of course, Jericho had to cheat to get that mask off, Hoovy. If Tony were smart and respectful to lucha culture, at worst, the match ends in a draw where Jericho doesn't get the mask, but he doesn't lose the title either. At best, Bandido wins. But we know Tony Khan, he's too much of a fucking dimwit to book properly. It's probably going to go Jericho.
Yeah. I honestly want Jericho to lose. This guy got an ego.
Yeah, so much so they got told off by a jacked up 5-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm serious. You've seen the clip, right?
Yeah. I know something fishy is about to go down. I know Jericho will do whatever possible to win by whatever means.
And, of course, force Bandido into a situation where it's basically the ultimate shame in Lucha Libre.
I know. Giving up your mask means that you give up your life's work. Jericho can't go any lower than that, all things considered. So my vote is going to be on Bandido. Sorry, Chris, but you've had that title for far too long. You should be focusing on your band with Fozzy.
I mean, Jericho's done it once. Wouldn't be too surprising to me if he did it again.
If he does, I'm going to throw a shit fit, honestly.
People,
now, have you made your vote at least?
I'm thinking Bandido.
You made the right call. Let's move on.
For the trios titles, Death Riders against Raid FTR. There's been some dissension ranks in Raid FTR. I'm taking the Death Riders.
I'm taking the Death Riders. Besides Cesaro, I always call him Cesaro, and his team are actually going to nail them. I'm going to mop the floor with them.
Again,
now,
enter the dissension between Dax and Cash.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the dissension unfold after all is said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's my turn. But it's a triple threat for the AEW International Championship. You have the champion, Kenny Omega, faces off against the final two challengers of the AEW International Championship Eliminator Tournament, Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey.
That's mostly due to a double pin they got on Beast Mordos.
Damn. That's insane. That is flat out insane.
Take the win. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Speedball's got a good future in AEW, but it's too soon to put the belt on him.
What about Ricochet?
It's more plausible for the title to switch hands if the belt goes to him. And Speedy, don't get me wrong. You're one of my best friends in the wrestling business. But it's too soon for you to get that belt.
I agree. He needs a bit more time to get his feet wet. So if I were to say it here, this is tough. Kenny would retain, but I honestly want Ricochet to win. If Mike Bailey won, it would be a massive upset.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
Yeah, we know. I'm just going to make my vote now. I'm just voting Ricochet.
I'm going Kenny.
You made the right choice. That's fine. Your move.
For the AEW Women's title, Timeless Toni Storm with Luther in a corner defends against Megan Bayne.
My. This will be fun.
That will.
This will be tough because you got two talented individuals ready to duke it out, but only one will become victorious.
This will be a tough one.
Do we need to bring that out?
No. What the hell?
Let's just do it. Bring the coin.
Heads, Storm. Tails, Bane.
Flip.
Heads. I'm going Storm.
I'm going Megan. No matter who wins, we're going to get a hell of a match. And now, the main event for the AEW World Championship. The champion, Jon Moxley, will face off against the challenger, Swerve Strickland, with Prince Nana in his corner.
Look, I'm going to be blunt. When Swerve beat Joe last year to win the title at this event in St. Louis, I viewed it as a fluke. It should not have happened.
It may as well have been a fluke because I didn't think his reign would last long.
They did. I'll credit AEW for giving Swerve about 4 months with the title.
Yeah.
just to test the waters to see if he's worthy of it, and he was. But against Mox, this is a different breed of cat. And unfortunately, I think Swerve is going to get skinned by him. And besides, in my view, Swerve is a roadblock to what the real prize and the real date of the death of the Death Riders is going to be. May 25th, Glendale, Arizona, Double or Nothing. Jon Moxley dies at the hands of Darby Allin.
Indeed. So you think Jon Moxley should retain only for him to get his ass beat at Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
All right.
Mox and the Death Riders come up and is long overdue. And we all know that Mox basically stole Darby's title shot back in September.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
So what better time to come back than, picture this. Swerve loses to Mox. Then the lights go out. And then borderline reminiscent of Sting, Darby comes descending from the rafters. In one hand, his skateboard. The other hand, a baseball bat. And he plunges the shit out of Moxley with both.
Ooh, that was beautiful. That would be a beautiful scenario.
And then calls his shot. That Double or Nothing. Anarchy in the arena. 1-on-1 for the AEW World title at Double or Nothing on May 25. And then Darby puts Mox through hell, sentences him to death, gets that title out of that briefcase once and for all.
This will be something fun to see, to say the least.
And finally vindicates 8 months of pain.
Yes,
Or
indeed.
7 months of pain.
Yes, indeed.
Mox leaves Philadelphia with the title still in that briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Enough said.
Enough said, indeed.
That's it for tonight's episode of the MegaMets. We'll be back on Thursday for our predictions for Windy City Riot 2025 from Chicago. The final time the ace of New Japan graces a U.S. wrestling ring.
This will be a fun one.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to get what I prophesied. Dog Pound Steel Cage match in Dentaku between the War Dogs and the House of Torture. But the question is, are we going to get as a 5-on-5 or a 4-on-4? Personally, I think you should go 4-on-4, mostly because for both sides, you don't want to risk your junior heavyweights going into the Best of Super Juniors tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Which means for the War Dogs, you need someone to fill in because Sonata basically stabbed half the War Dogs in the back during the 6-man tag title match.
Yep.
And while neither Finley or Evil were able to procure gold in the main and semi-mains respectively against either Hiroki Goto or Yota Tsuji, they know the mission statement. In my opinion, if you're the War Dogs, you're still at disadvantage. You can't trust Chase Owens. He's basically a cannon fodder heavyweight.
Exactly.
So who do you go to? I mean, we don't know. I mean, Shota Umino's made it clear he has no intention of joining War Dogs. At least not yet. At least in my view. He says he wants to lead Hantai, but I view that as bullshit.
I agree.
But if there is one individual that has to come back for the War Dogs, it's one smart bastard.
Yep.
You don't know who I'm talking about, do you?
Oh, I do know what you're talking about, believe me.
Yeah, I'm referring to Jake Lee.
Yes, indeed.
While on the other hand, Evil's reunited with his old tag partner, and basically this writes Yujiro out of the equation because he's a parasite.
But of course, he is. This will prove to be most interesting come tomorrow. I don't even know what's going to happen.
That right. Anyway, that's it for tonight's MegaMets. Comment, like, and subscribe. We're out. We'll see you Thursday night for Windy City Riot. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Bang. I'll see you then on Thursday.
All right.